Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm going to show you a 2011 American military science fiction action film called Battle Los Angeles. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy the video. The movie starts with news circling all over the world about meteor shower off the coast of Tokyo. An unidentified enemy reaches the coastline with their military-like attacks. Los Angeles is being evacuated while the rest of the world is falling into chaos. The date is the 12th of August, 2011. Looking back, months before the incident, the soldiers are training for their defense on an oceanside through California. Staff Sergeant Michael Nance is there along with his men. They greet him. He is driving to the Marine base while listening to the news and is about to resign. The sergeant's men are still having a life even though there's warning of meteors. Some are partying, one is about to get married, and so on. Now the meteors are hitting California and the Marine soldiers are moving from their training base to be mobilized. The staff sergeant's resignation is to be pending because the company needs him as the situation worsens. He is a little worried as the first sergeant is assigning him to Lieutenant Martinez's platoon. The military is now deploying and preparing to defend Los Angeles as Santa Monica is battling. As they are discussing meteors, they realize that they all come in the same shapes, further concluding that it is a terrorist's attack and declaring it as a localized warning. The soldiers are now watching the news as the coastal continues being hit. The reporter saw few creatures moving along the coast, but then the camera catches a bunch of unknown enemies that don't seem human at all. The Marines are now moving from Airbase California to defend Los Angeles. The lieutenant introduced Staff Sergeant to his men, and as they are on their way to the coast, the soldiers are somehow making fun of the new sergeant. On the other hand, some soldiers are reading the Bible, calming themselves, whereas the lieutenant is writing a letter to his wife. They depart to Santa Monica Airport and they are going straight to the base while discussing how they will defend the place. They are rescuing civilians and cleaning the area, looking for more people to help. As they are walking through, they cannot see anything because of the smoke caused by the meteors from the enemy. The road is creepy with low visibility. A dog appears, but soon, a few bombs are dropping real hard, causing them to panic. They are now being chased by those extraterrestrial creatures and they cannot find a way out. One soldier found an exit and they went inside a house. They treat the wounded soldiers from the major attack. While they are escaping, Lenahan, one of Lieutenant's men, struggled his way out and is now missing. He is turning his radio on and off because the things are everywhere. The rest of the team is now searching for him as he is saying through the call that his location is in a laundry area. The team cannot know specifically where is he because he turns his radio off as he stands off the enemy. He is now on a one-on-one with the thing, shooting each other. The creature falls in the pool and Lenahan unendingly shoots the creature. The team finds him, but the enemy stands aback, shooting them all. They now face the enemy and are unaware of what it is. Lenahan, on the other hand, says that it doesn't die even when he already shot it multiple times. Then they decide to throw a bomb on the pool to certainly kill the creature. Now they are moving to the police station when suddenly they are hit by a bomb. One of their men is hurt. The man has got third-degree thermal burns on his face and neck. While guarding the place, they see moving bodies, and when they are about to fire, the staff sergeant holds it. They are friendlies and soldiers as well. They are the only alive left from their team, the Air Force. Together with the Air Force, the Marines are now moving to the police station while helping the wounded ones. The two men are now exploring the rest of the station when suddenly they feel a noise, thus turning their radios off. They shout, "U.S. Marines," as they go through the wall, but instead, they saw humans, fearful, asking for help. There are 2 adults, 1 man and a woman, and 3 kids, making 5 civilians. Soon after, the medical team comes on their way to help the wounded men. They proceed to put them up in the helicopter to leave. The team cannot make more room on the aircraft, so they cannot include the civilians there. As the helicopter swings by, it suddenly gets hit by a big bomb coming from nowhere. The helicopter goes down, leaving nothing as the people there become ashes and smoke in an instant. Shockingly, they look at the burnt aircraft and see plenty of creatures circling it, swinging in the air. They get more alarmed as they know that the extraterrestrials have air power, so they immediately call for help. The soldier, Corporal Kevin Harris, panics as he sees that some of his team members had just died in a blink of an eye. His team members calms him down and get him back to his senses by shouting and motivating him. On the other hand, the lieutenant also comes to stress and panic as he loses 4 of his men. He cannot make any decision because of the stress, so the staff sergeant gives him motivation and makes him calm. They cannot go on a helicopter because the enemy has shot it down, making it a no chance to go on air. They need to move, so now they are trying to find the best route to the safest place, which is the full operating base. Now they are observing the creatures and they find that they have lookouts as well as leadership. They listen to the news telling them that the current hypothesis is the creatures target the Earth's water, which makes sense because the planet Earth has 70% of it. The two men of lookouts find a bus and the sergeant and lieutenant think that it could be operational. As they are trying to find their way out, they see a creature running for breath and almost unconscious. They observe the alien, looking like their weapons are surgically attached. The sergeant is about to pull the trigger on the creature, but the others stop him. The reason is for them to not run out of ammunition and also to find the best spot where they can exactly kill the creature. One of the civilians offers help because she is a veterinarian. While the rest of the team is figuring out where to shoot the creature, the two lookout men see a bunch of aliens walking around and it's getting nearer to the police station. The sergeant is stabbing the alien, but it seems like it does not die. On the other hand, the other two men responsible for operating the bus are now working on it. The aliens get into the north entrance of the station, leaving them no time. The lieutenant goes to the south entrance along with the civilians while the bus is now running to rescue the remaining team members. The bus gets them and Imlay, the lookout, throws a bomb at the creatures. The tech and sergeant are the only ones left and they are still figuring out where to kill the alien. When they have the last shot, they finally make it and the creature dies. Another alien comes to the entrance and Imlay throws the bomb again while both the sergeants decide to go out from the station. They get on the bus while shooting the creatures that are coming to them, covering the areas on fire. While riding on the bus, they figure out that they are now 6 miles away from the forward operating base. The lieutenant estimates the ride from their place up to the FOB for like 25 to 30 minutes. The Air Force will clear the place for more or less 40 minutes, so they need to hurry. Having a smooth ride, they suddenly hear weird noises above. The staff sergeant hurriedly commands to stop the bus. Not long after, there are hundreds and hundreds of creatures aligned in a circular manner, flying across East downtown Los Angeles. They proceed to turn off the radio, cell phones, and anything that has radiation because the aliens can track down their signal. Hastily, the staff sergeant goes to other way and sticks the turned-on radio in a gasoline station. Luckily, the enemy now goes the other way through the sergeant and he throws up the bomb straight to the enemy. The team members become worried about him, but he briskly stands and goes back to the bus. He then concludes that the creature's aircraft is unmanned, like a flying drone. They celebrate the staff sergeant's heroic act. A few more minutes while driving, they are now 2.5 miles away from the FOB, but the drone-like creature attacks them instantly. The lieutenant is now surpassing the fire while the staff sergeant is protecting the civilians. The team are defending while the kids are getting down from the bridge with the help of a rope. It's a chaotic battle now. Aliens are everywhere, soldiers are getting shot and falling from the bridge. Not long after, another new thing comes up, bigger than the aliens. They shoot the car where Stavrou is. They lose another man from their team. A soldier is hit again while they are trying to mend the wound. The alien is coming to them. The civilian has no choice but to start shooting, but he gets a bullet as well. The lieutenant is now wounded behind the bus. However, the staff sergeant cannot leave him alone. They are now arguing because they need to get the team and the civilians off the place. The lieutenant orders him to get everyone from the freeway and leaves him a letter for his wife. He still has bags of bombs on the bus and proceeds to throw them on the aliens in front of him, killing himself in the process. Having an order from the now dead lieutenant, the staff sergeant carries and continues to do his job. The men are getting suspicious of him. They don't know what had happened. Following the orders, they now escape from the bombing area and come to a store, getting medicines and first aid kits. The shot civilian is getting treated and his son was not leaving him alone. The staff sergeant is now talking with the civilian, motivating him that he did his best. The civilian asked him to promise to take care of his son but got interrupted for an urgent hardwired connection. They are now listening to the news stating that the ocean levels are decreasing. The creatures are using the water to power themselves as well as making it their fuel. Moreover, they find that the extraterrestrials have a command and control center. They need to put it to an end. Minutes later, the Air Force is now about to bomb the control center. They count to 10 seconds but nothing happened, leaving them dumbfounded. They check the Santa Monica airport that is now burning into ashes. The supposed bombs didn't drop because the operating base is now wiped out. As they are staring at the map, looking for a non-wiped out place, one of their men goes to him and states that Mr. Rincon, the hero civilian, is dead. He gets sad and angry as he lost another person. There, he sees the son crying to his breathless dad. The staff sergeant checks out the child and he hurriedly hugs him. As the son cries for his loss, the sergeant empathizes and gives him motivational words, stating that he is his little Marine. Not long after, the sergeant decides to move, ordering the men that they cannot lose another civilian. One of the soldiers comes up to him out of respect. He apparently lost his brother with the sergeant as the leader. Some of the soldiers still think that he got his men killed, but he explained them, stating he would rather trade place with them. He states that he never forgets his men and eagerly recites the dead soldiers' names with their United States military social security numbers. He then tells them that to honor those who passed away, they must keep on going and never quit. A few minutes later, they now get prepared to fight and to get out of the place. The creatures are forming defense and it will take a long time to go to the nearest evacuation site, but they still need to move. The soldiers led the civilians to a light armored vehicle and now requesting help using their radio. It is now 2 minutes until the helicopter drops and the staff sergeant checks the civilians if they are still alright. A little later, a handful of aliens are on their way and they decide to speed up the vehicle. The sergeant shoots from the top of the vehicle at the creatures and killing many in the process. They are now in the air as a helicopter comes for them, but not long after, the aircraft begins to power up and down. Sergeant believes it because they are near to the extraterrestrials' command and control center. He needs to land, but the helicopter cannot because it may not have to power to take off again. As he thinks of what to do, he gives the lieutenant's letter to his wife to the civilian. After he assigns Imlay to be the commander, the sergeant lands on the nearest roof with the help of a rope. The soldiers follow him for the looking of the command center and the technical sergeant answers that what they're looking for could be in the basement. They then hurriedly look for it, walking through a dim hallways filled with water. Not long after, an alien finds them and so another battle begins. When it died, they hastily go up to the rooftop and see the center. They plan hiding behind strong rocks, assigning each one their task to defend. While one soldier keeps calling for help, they separate in every corner and they are now aiming at the target with a laser. However, the creature's drone bombs the place where Kearns is hiding, thus making him ashes. They continue to fight and bomb the aliens while waiting for rescue. Unfortunately, Imlay gets stuck against the rocks. The staff sergeant direct hits the big armor and the soldiers celebrate. As they are thinking it over, the center strikes up through, leaving them in shock. The drones are pulling them away, but still, the sergeant focuses on shooting the target with the laser. The creatures are using the drone to protect the ship while Imlay finally gets out from the huge piles of rock with the help of his member. A few more shots later, the ship is getting out of range. They need to take it down. Tech Sergeant Santos shoots the last drone flying while the staff sergeant teams up with the laser. It creates a big bomb through the alien command and control center. The aliens manually shoot them and likewise, the soldiers shoot as well. Finally, the helicopter rescues them and they land on a temporary operating base where they rest for a while. The soldiers departed doing an outstanding heroic job taking down the ship and rescuing civilians. After a while, the first sergeant is telling them to rest and eat. The movie ends with the soldiers rearming and joining a force to retake Los Angeles. The end. Please like, share and subscribe.